So thank you so much for jumping on tonight to our Christmas cocktail class. We are feeling very festive. My ears are a bit floppy. But my name is Emma. For those of you that don't know me, I am a team leader down in the Gippsland Bass Coast area. And I have a few of my beautiful girls on tonight helping to share with you some delicious cocktails for this festive season. We have a lot happening in the Thermomix world, and we'll chat a little bit about that as we go. But before we get started, I'd love to know in the chat, what is it that has brought you along here tonight? What are you hoping to see? And have you got a Thermomix? Have you not got a Thermomix? Pop something in the chat. Let us know what's brought you along and what you're hoping to get out of tonight. If you guys can share your faces, that would be great. We'd love to see you. If you can just jump off, stay on mute so that we can hear each other, then that would also be great. I'm just going to, I don't know if one of the girls can mute everyone, maybe. See if you can do that. Can't see any. Oh, hey, Debbie, I can see your face. You're the only one I can see. I'd love to know if you have a Thermomix, don't have a Thermomix. Hey, Wendy, pop it in the chat and let us know. I'm loving your Christmas tree behind you there, Wendy. Pop it in the chat. Let us know if you've got a Thermomix or don't have a Thermomix. If you have a Thermomix, have you used your Thermomix to make a cocktail? What kind of things are you wanting to learn about tonight? So I'm going to kickstart tonight purely because one of the recipes that I'm making it calls for Baileys, and I didn't have Baileys. So I wanted to jump on and show you guys how to make it. So Wendy has a TM6 and needs more cocktail ideas. Awesome. Hopefully you'll get a little bit of inspiration from us tonight. So before we start, actually, I'd love to know, did anyone see the announcement today about our 30-day money-back guarantee when you purchase TM6? I'm really excited about this. It means that if you have hesitations about whether or not you will use it or not, then you can get your Thermomix now, come on board, 30-day free trial period. And if you aren't loving it, then you can send it back for a full guarantee, return money back guarantee. That's what I'm trying to say. We can pretty much promise that you will love it and that you will not be sending it back. But on the off chance that does happen, then you've got that little bit of a safety net just there. Alyssa said TM6 black cocktail ideas for the kids and girlfriends mocktails if possible, because I end up in hospital if I have alcohol. Oh, that's not good. Well, we may be able to show you maybe how you can do a few substitutions. We won't actually be doing any mocktails tonight, but we can show you through Cookie Doo and see where you can find some mocktail recipes. So without further ado, I'm going to jump on and make the Baileys. I might just leave this camera highlighted. So this is a manual recipe that I'll be doing today. So all I'm going to do is slide across and find my scales. Now I'm actually going to swap this bowl out. This is a clean bowl, but I have a dirty one over here. Now when I say dirty, it is only dirty because I made my own condensed milk. So it has a little bit of the remnants of the condensed milk in here, which is fine because the condensed milk actually goes into this recipe as well. Judy drinks anything alcoholic. Great, you're in the right place. So I've written down my recipe tonight because I am a little bit all over the shop. And I didn't have time to print it or add it to Cookie Doo. But Mark, where's the cream? Maybe we'll go with the rest of the ingredients first. I wait for the cream. The condensed milk. So we're adding in 395 grams. This here is way more than 395 grams. This is actually 4 batches. So I made a big batch of condensed milk. You can quadruple it in your Thermomix following the Cookie Doo recipe, and it makes heaps. It lasts a little while, and we are making some rumbles, so that will be great for those. So I'm going in with 395 grams of the condensed milk, which is the equivalent, oh, maybe a little bit more, equivalent to 1 tin. It's delicious. We've got some Irish whiskey here. I just got this one from wherever. It was the cheapest one on the shelf. And we are going in with 300 grams. Now I'm actually putting less whiskey in than what it asks for. I don't know if we'll have 300 grams because this is quite strong. There we go. We're going with 250. So this is quite a strong recipe. So I have reduced that quite significantly. We're going in with a little bit of chocolate sauce. Now I usually make my own, but I had Hershey's in the cupboard. So that's what we are using. About 50 grams of that. and a teaspoon of coffee. Now, I'm not going to worry about measuring that. I'm just going to tip that in like so. And bear with me for 2 seconds while I just grab the cream because I'm not sure where that is. I'm just going to pop on mute.
Do you want one of us to start ours, Em, while you look for that? You're on mute. Got it?
I'm here. Sorry. So this is our cream. It does ask for cooking cream, which is a little bit thinner, but I'm just using some thickened cream here. And it asks for a cup, so that's about 250 ml. So I'll just chuck whatever I'm very much a wing it, chuck it all in and hope for the best kind of person. So in there we have all of our ingredients, and we're just going to put the lid on, and we're going to mix that, oh, not on our scales. We're going to mix that for 30 seconds on speed 4, probably actually only 20 seconds. We don't need that long. 20 seconds speed 4. So you need to cook it longer, if your time's buckle, and don't. I didn't, because the cooking part is only the butter and the water, and I found that that was fine. I didn't need to for the condensed milk. And then you're just adding in the sugar and the milk powder and blending it for 30 seconds on speed 10. I find that I don't need to, but I do find that if I let it sit for too long, the granules, like Wendy said, do tend to sit at the bottom. But if you're putting it into something, then I find that it's fine, it whips up. So here we have our Baileys. I have these really cute little jars from the $2 shop. So I just put a little ribbon on these and give them to the teachers. Watch me make a mess and spill this everywhere. But it has a really beautiful color to it as well. And I do find that reducing that whiskey is like you really don't need too much because it is quite a strong recipe. So reducing it is totally fine. So there we go. That is one of our recipes that has made, I think it makes about I should have checked, maybe 1.5 liters. So we'll probably get 3.5 bottles of that out of one batch. So one bottle of the Irish whiskey gives you about, I think we got 8 little bottles out of it last time. So that's a really good gifting one as well. My mother-in-law loves it, and so do we. But this I now need to pop aside because we're going to, actually, I'm going to tip this into something. I'm not sure what. No, I'll grab another bowl. I have to chuck it in here because I don't actually need all that much. But also shows you guys that it just makes a lot. So there we have all of our Baileys. I'm going to pop that aside. Okay, I'm just going to let Linda in. We might go over to Santana now, and she can start on her cocktail while I get the ice cream ready for my next one. Spotlight you, Santana.
I'm on. Hi guys, thanks for joining tonight. My name is Santana Savage, and I am a consultant in the Yarra Valley, so a little bit further out from where Em and most of the other team are. I'm going to make a new one tonight. So it's called the Snowball Cocktail. I wanted to make it because it just looked delicious, but it is a new one. I've never made it before. I was supposed to make it before tonight so that I had to practice, and that didn't happen. So I have prepared something earlier, part of it, just because it does say that the recipe will take 1 hour and 15 minutes, purely because you need to make a coulis for the cocktail. So I have whipped that up earlier today and got it in the fridge, but I'm going to make a batch of it with you so that I can obviously show you how easy it is to make. I will then put that in the fridge and use that for another batch later on, or even use that to flavour my kids' yogurt or something like that. And then I've obviously got another batch that I made earlier today so that I can continue on. So I'll be doing that. It also, the final stage of it has like a whipped milk on the top. I was supposed to put it in the freezer 2 hours ago to freeze, and I forgot, but I did already have a batch in the freezer. So we don't know how that's going to turn out tonight, but that's what lives are all about. So let's wait and see. Now you can look this recipe up on Cookie Do. I've actually saved it in my recipes tonight because I just didn't want to make as big of a batch. So I've actually edited it. In my, I don't know if you guys can really probably see my screen, but in my screens, I've got it in my recipes. So I've obviously saved it in there, and it's gone into created recipes because I have wanted to change the serving size. So I think I've just changed it down to 3 potentially. But yeah, anyway, so get started. It looks pretty cool if you guys look it up. The other thing I was going to say for any of the owners out there is that I was speaking to a client of mine today, and I was trying to show her the cocktail that I was going to make, and it actually didn't come up on her screen. So one of the most important things that I tell everyone when they've got their Thermomix, for both on your phone and on your machine, when you go into your filters, you need to filter out, let me think. I think you filter out Australia and filter in English. So that just obviously removes any recipes that aren't in English for you to obviously be able to convert the measurements and all that, the metrics and stuff. But it will obviously open up your recipes. So it takes it from like about 4,000 to about 12,000 roughly. So don't mark me on that. It's probably more than that now. But gives you a massive amount of other recipes on there as well. So this one will only be found if you've increased your filter, so that you're filtering to English only and not limited to Australian recipes. So that is a good one to know. Anyway, I've created this one. So in our creative recipes, they do look slightly different. So it's got all of your instructions written in a written term rather than obviously step by step. However, down the bottom here, where I'm hoping you can see down the bottom here, those 2 little green dots, one is obviously the actions that we need to take for the blade, and then the other one is obviously measurements. So this just goes into the measurements of the ingredients that you need for this stage and tells you. I have pre-measured them all out here in front of me, so I'm not going to need to do that today, but I'll follow the steps anyway. So for this first step, I'm just going to be making the coulis, which literally just consists of raspberries, caster sugar, and lemon juice. Obviously, you can control how much sugar you put in that. One of the biggest perks I think about having a Thermomix is making things from scratch and obviously controlling your ingredients. So being able to choose to remove things for allergies, or if you're in a dietary requirement or something like that, or even alternate them and swap them out for something different. So it's asking me to blend the ingredients for 5 seconds on speed 10. So that obviously breaks it down heaps. And then pull down the sides of the bowl with the spatula, couldn't think of that word for a second, and then use simmering basket on the lid because obviously the temperature is going up to 100 for 5 minutes. So once I'm cooking that for 5 minutes, I'll jump to someone else obviously because that's pretty boring. Once that's done, I will also strain it just through a sieve, and then I'll put that in the fridge to cool. Obviously I'll be ready for another step, but someone can probably even go back to M in that stage. So yeah, I'm going to go through and obviously do what I need to do. So these are just the ingredients that I've prepared earlier. So the raspberries that I need, the sugar that I need. I'm a little bit like M as well, and I like to near enough is good enough. Just really depends on how I'm feeling on the day. So that's about 5 grams, also all over the bench, but that's all right. Where did I put my lid? Here it is. So we're just going to go in here. It's obviously got 2 options. So my first option was speed 10 for 5 seconds. So this is just going to go for 10 seconds. Zoom usually obviously cuts me out when it's making quite a certain level of sound. So you won't hear me for 5 seconds.
Has anyone made a coulis before? Just blitz up some fruit with some sugar and lemon juice. It's also really yummy on things like yogurt or with a pav. If we're talking about Christmas, you've got your Christmas pavs, any kind of berry coulis, mango coulis, anything like that. That's exactly what Santana's making right now.
Perfect, thanks, Sam. So yeah, when that one's done, obviously we go back into our second mode. So this is now going to cook for 5 minutes on 100 degrees. I've popped my simmering basket on instead of the measuring cup, and I'll be able to probably go back to you if you want, because this will have to cook obviously for 5 minutes. So
Yeah,
all
cool.
very nice. Thanks, guys.
I will let you cook that. I'm just going to go back to me and make the gingerbread one. Thanks, Santana. So I am going to, I've left my bowl dirty with the Baileys still in that, and now I'm going to make the gingerbread cocktail. So I'm going in with a little bit of ice cream. I did actually make some ice cream, but it has not defrosted enough. So I'm just going to use some good old store-bought ice cream. And again, I'm not actually measuring any of this. I'm just really winging it. This is just a few scoops. I'd love to know, how is everyone going with using their Thermomix manually and not just following a recipe? Are you using it? Are you wanting a little bit more support around that? What does that look like? This recipe was supposed to have gingerbread ice cream, but we didn't have any, and I just thought that vanilla would be fine. We're going to pop in a little bit of our Baileys. There is some in our bowl, but we're just going to add it in a little bit more. So if I just slide across on my screen and click on the scales, again, I don't really know. I'm just going to pop in 30 grams. Near enough is good enough. A little taste test. Tastes delicious. And we're going to add in the same old vodka. If I can get the lid off. So this is another 30 grams of vodka. And then it said gingerbread spice mix in the recipe. So I've just got some ginger and some mixed spice. And I'm just going to put a little bit of a sprinkle of each of those in. I'm not actually measuring because, again, I'm a bit of a winger. One of you girls, please let Rhonda in. And it did ask for some choc sauce. It asked for caramel sauce actually, but we're going to use chocolate because, again, that's all I have. But if you were a little bit more prepared than me, then you will be able to make some caramel sauce ahead of time. So just a little drizzle of that. And now I'm just going to put the lid on. And we're actually going to use our blend function. So if we're staying on our modes screen, we're going to go into blend. I've got 30 seconds on there, and I'm just going to turn that all the way around to speed 10 to activate that. Has anyone used the blend function? Okay, Crystal has used the blend function. Laura uses it all the time. What are you using it for? I'd love to know. All the time for smoothies and soups, yeah? So that has blended up beautifully. I don't know if you can see here, but I have just rimmed my glass. What I actually rimmed it with was, when I made jam donuts last time, I kept a little bit of the, what is it called? Sugar mix, the cinnamon sugar. So I've added in a little bit of nutmeg, mixed spice and ginger with that to make a gingerbread mix. And I'm going to pop my cocktail into this little jar, little glass. And I'm actually going to go to the next person while I dress this because I've got some cute little things that I wanted to pop on it, but I'm not sure how that's going to go. So we're going to go manual cocktail. Awesome, Laura. We're going to go over to Eliza now, and she's going to show us a little bit about the cutter and talk to us about how you can get a cutter and also her cocktail. So thanks, Eliza.
No worries. Hey everyone, I hope you've had a good day today. Thanks for coming along tonight. I am making in my recipes here, the strawberry gin fizz. So that's what we are making today. But before we start, I'm going to actually slice up my strawberries in the cutter. Have any of you already got a cutter at home? can't see the chat while I'm doing this, but I'm sure someone else will be able to take a look. These are a gift with purchase at the moment. And if you are like me, it will potentially save you a lot of time in your kitchen. They are super easy to use. I use mine at least weekly purely for carrots for our veggies for dinner, but I use it for plenty of other things as well, but that's what I use it for weekly. So if you're using it in a TM6, you have a mode for it. If you're using it in a TM5, you do have to use it manually. So what I'm going to do is I have already chopped one up, but you have two sides of your blade, one for grating and one for slicing. And you just pop your strawberries in there. Now they're not all going to fit in there, but it's so fast, you just do it twice and we will do that. So I'm going to choose slicing for this recipe, and I'm going to slice them thick. So we just turn it around to there and gently push down. And it was that fast to chop those strawberries. So if you have, especially coming into this time of year, I know I had a customer last year who had to do, I think, 10 kilos of potatoes for potato bake for Christmas Day for their family. It was a lot quicker to use this than chop them all by hand. And that is our strawberries all done. So I'll just show you there. Sure if you can see. All chopped off and ready for the recipe. So I'm not sure what you have at home that you chop and use fairly regularly, but also if you're ever following a guided recipe with the chopper, always make sure you take this out. That sometimes get missed and it can be chopped up very easily, unfortunately. Okay, so we'll go on to the cocktail now. So this is a pretty simple one. Now, instead of using the icing sugar, I actually made some sugar syrups yesterday, and one of them I made was the vanilla one. And I figure vanilla and strawberry goes together fairly well, so I'm using some of that vanilla sugar syrup instead. And then we have some lime juice. I have that because I'm using a soda water later on that already has some lime in it. And pop our strawberries in. Yep. Right there, perfect. And mix in with our gin. Now that just muddles them up there. So we'll pop, that's going on reverse, blades on reverse, so nothing actually gets chopped up. Now, there's only me here that's going to drink this, so I'm actually I'll make one to try, but I'm actually going to put the rest in ice cubes, I think, and pop them ice cube tray in the freezer for another time when I feel like trying them. So I'm not sure if it'll work, but we'll see. And then I'll just take the ice cube out and top it up with some soda water. Sorry, my son's waving and he thinks the camera's facing at him and he's giving you all a wave. So now you literally pop it into a glass, top it up with some soda water and some ice cubes, and we are ready to go. So a nice, simple, fast one, and I'm thinking it's going to be fairly refreshing. So I will pass along now to whoever is next, and I will pop it in the glass and show you a little later.
Thanks, Eliza. I thought I would just quickly show you guys mine. It is melting very, very fast. It's quite warm in here. So this is our cocktail. I have popped some whipped cream on top, and I made some little, thank you. I made some little gingerbread tiny teddies, and I used a little bit of icing to stick some M&Ms on them. He is sinking into there, but then I just sprinkled a little dusting of that cinnamon sugar that I had rimmed the glass with as well. So if it wasn't so hot in here, that would look much cuter, but it is melting very quickly here, so I think I better drink up.
Make sure you take a photo, Em.
I have taken a photo, thank you. We will jump back to Santana now and see where she's at, and then we'll go over to Ange.
Thanks, Em. I don't know if I can pin myself, so you might have to.
That's right, I've got you.
You got me. Thank you. Am I on? Because I'm still seeing you. Maybe I pinned you on mine.
Sorry, you're still there.
We can see you, Santana.
Yes.
Oh, now I can't.
Hang on.
That's my fault. I think I pinned Em to mine, so I'm just going to have to look at her and not be able to see myself. But anyway, blind leading the blind here. So my coulis is obviously finished. I'm just going to show you what it wants me to do with it before I do the old, I don't actually know who used to do that. Was it the Naked Chef or something? And he was always like, something I prepared earlier. Anyway, I'll be that guy. So my coulis is in there. Kind of reminds me similar to jam, but obviously just a little bit less of an amount. Oops. It was ready probably 10 minutes ago, so I feel like it's hardened a little bit now, which probably isn't going to work in my favor, but you live and learn, really. I'm also going to do the old swap-a-rood and put myself into a fresh bowl, which is something I highly recommend if you guys don't already have. I know the gift with purchase at the moment is a voucher for the mix shop, so highly recommend something like that. Now the amount of coulis that I made earlier today was a larger amount than this, but basically I'm just using I don't even know what you call these. I feel like they're sieve, yeah.
A sieve.
I use my Thermomix for everything now, so I don't usually use manual things. I'm surprised that I even had this in my kitchen to use, if I'm honest. Anywho, we'll scrape the bottom. There we go. Right, so what it wants me to do in the recipe is leave that to the side for 30 minutes to cool and then pop it in the fridge for 30 minutes. So that's the extra hour for this recipe. So it does say an hour and 15 total time for cooking, but obviously within that time frame is 1 whole hour of refrigeration. So we don't need to worry about that. Anyway, I think we have done all of these steps. Yes. So we're going to place the coulis in and the vodka and the cranberry juice and the peach snaps and more lemon juice into our mixing bowl at the moment. I'm not going to do this whole amount of coulis only because I did mix a larger batch up, which is what I said earlier. Peach snap, cranberry juice. These are also little bamboo.
This recipe for, please.
Pardon?
How many did you scale the recipe for?
Just down to 2. That was the smallest that it allowed me to do on the machine. But if you really wanted to, all it did was obviously originally it was to make 6 glasses. Depends obviously how big your glasses are. But it's divided all of the recipes by half or 50%, obviously, to make it like this. So if you really wanted to try and figure it out, I feel like you could obviously just work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
To make less. I also am using the bamboo, are they eco bowls, I think it's called. You can get a set of 6 off the mix shop too. I find them really perfect for these kind of things. Or
They're also
prepping.
in your business kit when you come on board as a consultant.
Oh, there you go. That's probably where I got them from. What do I need? Oh, yes. Okay. So now we're gonna be mixing it. Where's my lid though? While I mix this, it will probably cut me out and I need to go and grab some ice cubes for my glasses anyway. So give me a moment while this mixes up.
That's right. We'll go to Ange. Ange, where are you? Let me spotlight.
Over here.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. So tonight I am going to be making peppermintini. So I'm keeping mine Christmas themed as well. It is on Cookie Doo. So I'm just going to jump in here and start away. So again, I've saved it in my week. This recipe does make 4 glasses. So hopefully, although my martini glasses are quite big, so maybe not. So first off, I'm going to just show you how to, it's telling you how, what to do to decorate your glasses as well. So I've got some candy canes in here that I remembered to take the plastic off. I nearly forgot. And this is just going to go for 2 seconds on speed 6. So just crushing them roughly.
This is also a really good garnish for things like your Rocky Road Christmas bark, even things like Pavs and your choc ripple cakes, being able to blitz up some of your candy canes. It's a really nice decoration.
So just in 2 seconds, oh, don't breathe that in. Wow. Up your nose. All right. Just on 2 seconds, we have a nice little candy powder. So just transfer to a plate. And then we're adding in just some milk chocolate that I've got here. And on with our lid again. We're just going to chop all of that up, and then I believe it's going to melt it for a couple of minutes.
Has anyone melted chocolate? I'd love to know in the chat if you have melted chocolate. It is really great at this time of year when everyone's making their Rocky Roads or their little mini Tim Tam balls or anything that you need to melt chocolate for.
So again, just just finely chopped up. So just remembering, if you're going to melt chocolate, just make sure that your Thermomix bowl is completely dry, because the last thing you want is to start melting and then you've got a little bit of water stuck underneath your blades and you will seize your chocolate. So a good tip to get that excess water out is just to pop your bowl onto turbo for 2 seconds, just to flick any excess water that may be trapped, and it'll flick it out to the sides. All right, so it's just going on for 1 minute, 50 degrees to melt our chocolate on speed 2.
Thanks, Ange. Santana, do we come back to you? Are you ready for us?
Yes.
You're spotlighted.
I'm spotlighted. Hi, guys. So I've just poured it in. Literally, that was just mixed for 10 seconds, obviously. I probably made a rookie mistake with the garnish on the edges, because now I've got little white bits through my cocktail, but we'll ignore that. So now I'm going to make the top garnish for it, which is actually skinny milk. It wanted me to freeze it for 2 hours prior, strictly 2 hours, which I'm guessing is to like freezing it to like a soft point and not fully frozen, is what I'm going to guess that was about. However, I forgot to do that, but I was going to make a batch last night and I froze some from last night. So I've put them in the microwave for 10 seconds. Let's see how this goes. They've softened pretty well, so hopefully this helps.
Nothing like winging it.
Pardon?
Nothing like winging it.
Nothing like winging it. Like half of them are like really frozen and some are not really frozen. So we need, how much do I need? 50 grams. So let me see how I can go with making 50 grams of these. Might be time consuming. What's that?
I'm just going to let people know that these recipes will be sent to you via email if you registered for the class and you're on the class. They will be sent to you via email after the class. If you have someone that may not have jumped on but would like the recipes, then just let me know and I can also send them that email as well.
Thanks, Sam. I'd like to have said that I was done in that time, but this is a little bit more fiddly than I realised.
Should we go to Ange while you do that?
What am I at?
Has she got her cocktail pretty forward? Let's go to Eliza.
Go to Eliza.
Eliza's not there.
Oh,
Yeah.
am I here?
To me.
It's all right. We've got Eliza. Thanks, Ange. We'll come
Ah.
to you in a sec. Very
And-
pretty, Eliza. That looks really
Yeah.
refreshing for a nice summer night.
Yes. So I feel like it might just be the night to try it too.
Absolutely.
Good timing.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much. Make sure you get your photos and we'll share their photos on our socials as well. I'll include a link to all of our socials in the email that you get sent after the class as well. Santana, are you ready or am I going to Ange? I'll go to Ange.
I'm ready.
I'm going to Ange.
Okay.
Alright.
Hopefully they don't melt too much.
So all I've done with my chocolate is just to pour it onto a plate, just so that I can dip the rim of my glass into that melted chocolate. And then going with our candy canes around the top and just pushing that into that melted chocolate, just for a nice little decoration.
So cute.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to Santana before we move on to the next of yours because her milk is going to melt. We'll be back in a sec to see Ange's actual cocktail. Where are you at, Santana?
Yeah, I'm good. So we've got the 50 grams in. Go back. So it just wants me to blend it for 10 seconds on speed 5. Scrape down the sides. So I'm just going to do that real quick. I thought it melted too much. I just rinsed the bowl out too, obviously, from the last one. All right, that is done. We just have to exit out of our instructions each step on the guided cooking. That looks quite fluffy. Next step, they want me to add the butterfly whisk. So I'm just popping that in. We are going to then use the butterfly whisk to whip for 1 minute 30 on speed 3. At the end of that, I'll remove the butterfly whisk and decorate the top of each glass. So obviously you are welcome to go to someone else while this goes if you want to.
We'll go back to Ange while you whip up that milk for us.
All right, so my next step was telling me just to clean and dry my bowl. So I've just done the old switcheroo as well. I've got a clean bowl. I've got some ice cubes here ready to go that have been sitting in my thermos over here for the last hour, and they're still nice and cold and firm. So 250 grams of ice cubes going in and 220 grams of white chocolate liqueur. So this is just a white creme de cacao that I've bought here. So 220 grams of that going in. And 120 grams of vanilla flavored vodka. So I've just got normal vodka here that I've just put in a little bit of vanilla essence because my homemade vanilla essence is literally just vanilla and vodka anyway. So
those photos to me, please.
120 grams of that. And then 120 grams of cream.
Do people prefer fruity or creamy when it comes to cocktails? What's everyone's preference? Pop it in the chat. I'd love to know. Everyone's different.
I'm usually a fruity person, but I wanted to try this one because it looks and sounds delicious.
I made these one last year for our cocktail class and it was yummy.
And the next thing is asking for half a teaspoon of peppermint extract. Instead of peppermint extract, I'm just using some Young Living oils. There's some peppermint essential oil. So I'm just going to put in 2 drops of that because it is quite strong.
That looked like more than 2, Ange.
I think it was 3, but that's all right.
Okay.
There's always an extra one. Insert our lid, and then we're just going for 10 seconds on speed 1.
Awesome. While that happens, I can see Santana's whipped her milk. I'm just going to quickly go to her. Looking good.
I actually have never whipped milk before, but that looks amazing.
Yeah, it's like crema, frothy.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful, guys, that I winged that and risked it for the biscuit.
Yep, worked out. In the end.
We got there. I'm just going to kind of like halve it, I guess. Oh,
Just slop it on.
it's still maybe slightly too melted, but that's okay.
I feel like
My dog is crying under my foot for it, so it mustn't be too bad.
I don't know about milk and cranberry juice together. Don't know about that.
Yeah, I've never mixed milk and alcohol like cranberry juice either, but I feel really disabled coming from the back. All right, that is us done.
That looks good.
I
Taste
can't
it.
wait.
So let's be careful. After you got your photo.
Yeah, I was about to say I've got two. I just don't know which one I wanted to take the photo of because like really the milk's probably not the best look, but anyway.
Hope you got attacked by a candy cane.
It's not bad.
Bad.
It tastes like pretty alcohol-y.
Mm.
Probably
Most
because
cocktail bar.
two shots
How much
of
would you
alcohol.
pay for something like that if you went to a cocktail bar?
Like $25, I feel like the average cocktail is now.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive, isn't it?
Mm.
And you could probably make a whole batch for half that price.
Yeah, easily.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to Ange and we'll mute you yelling at your dogs.
Okay, so next step is it's just mixed all of that together. So we've still got whole pieces of ice in there. So it's asking us to pop in our simmering basket. We're just using this as a bit of a strainer to pour it into our glasses. So my martini glasses are quite big, and this is supposed to make 4. And yeah, there's probably one more glass left in there. And we're just going to simply finish that off with a little candy cane on the side. And that is our cocktail all done.
Love it. So good. It's
Yes.
so tasty too. I really enjoyed that one last year when I made it.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Ange.
No worries.
Enjoy that
I will.
after you fix it. I'm going to spotlight myself. You're back to me now. And my cocktail that I'm going to make now is it's called a Frosty the Snowman. So again, I am winging it. This one is another one from the DIY cocktail guy. So jump on over and give him a follow on Instagram. I've been loving seeing all of his posts. This one is supposed to have tequila in it. I cannot do tequila, so I am just going in with vodka again. Tequila will land me on my butt and you won't see me for a few days. So we're just going in with 60 grams. I've just brought my scales up. You can probably see that the scales are jumping around a bit, and that's because it's plugged in right when I'm banging on it. So that's just why that's doing that. It's going in with 60 grams of vodka. Apparently the gingerbread one tastes all right. I had a taste, but I gave that to my husband and he's not complaining, so it mustn't be too bad. We're going in with 60 grams of an orange liqueur. I again just using whatever we had at home. So this is, I think this is actually from,
Find a link to my favorite one.
oh, let's just jump on mute.
Giants in hospital.
Good.
Just go on to 60 grams of orange liqueur. And then the same of a blue liqueur or blue curacao. This, I'm actually going to go with 75. Oh, so close. Now, we're going to add in some lime juice. I didn't have any fresh lime, so I am cheating again. And I'm just going to go with a bit of a squirt of that. And then the last ingredient here is some ice. So like Ange, I have had mine in my thermo server. I haven't actually weighed it, so I have no idea, but just popping that in there. I'm actually going to grab a little bit more. So if you don't have a thermo server, as we said earlier, you can pick them up as a host reward when you have a demonstration. They're also part of your business kit when you come on board as a consultant. So join our team, jump on and make some cocktails with others. We have lots of fun. And you can pick up some goodies as well. So I'm just going to blend that again using our blend function. I've just popped the spatula in to keep that ice and the alcohol down near the blade so that it keeps it blending. We're just going to go for 30 seconds. So if you were wanting to do a mocktail, you could definitely do something like this, but with cordial or something instead. This is also a really good one to blitz up some ice and make the kids some, you know, little icy treats. There is lots of different ice cream recipes and fruit-based ice creams on Cookie Doo as well. So plenty of blending options. So I'll show you that. I don't know which spotlight I've got on. I'm backwards. I'm feeling a little bit backwards.
I really like making, while we're on the topic of cocktails, my favorite is probably the mango daiquiri.
Yes. Yeah.
But basically the whole first half of the mango daiquiri is like the mango and the ice and sugar and all that kind of stuff. The very last step is mixing the alcohol through. So that's probably the easiest mocktail I think I've made so far. Because I literally just don't add the alcohol in.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. So here we have, I do love a good mango daiquiri. It is my favorite, except again, I replace the tequila with vodka instead. Don't know if you guys can see that. That is our little Frosty the Snowman or Jack Frost, whatever you want to call it. It is nice and icy, great for a nice hot night like tonight. That has made quite a lot. And again, obviously, the more ice you add, the further it will go. And, you know, you can adjust your alcohol quantities to that too. But that is it. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about Cookie Doo because we have finished presenting our actual dishes and now my dog's going to bark. I'm just going to this one. I'm just going to yummy.
Someone just asked what the name of that one was again.
Yeah, I'm just popping it in the chat. So it's called a Frosty the Snowman, but I will send the recipes afterwards as well. I'm just going to share my screen. Let me see if I can get Cookie Doo up. Oh, my cocktail is dripping everywhere. Can you guys see my Cookie Doo?
Yeah, we can see
Yeah,
him.
we can see it.
Awesome. So I'm just going to type in here into our if I can spell cocktail. So if you're looking for some cocktail recipes over the summer break, then this, as Santana said before, removing the Australian filter and adding on the English filter, we have 111 cocktail recipes, pardon me, that pop up. And you can change that. So if you're wanting it to be creamy, you can change it. If you're wanting it to be fruity, you can change it. But there are so many different ones on here. There's a snow cocktail.
I feel like there's even more than that. Sometimes they're just not named cocktail because there's been a few that I've looked up that are actually not in there.
Yeah, you can just type in drinks and see. You'll also see things like the prawn cocktail because that is obviously not a drink, but it is, and cocktail dressings and stuff like that. But there are heaps on here. Some of our favorites are the, there's Santana's Snowdrop one. With this one too, you could put some blueberries onto a toothpick and just have that sitting on the side as well. There's some really cute ways that you can garnish them.
I was going to garnish with cranberries, but I couldn't find fresh cranberries anywhere. Even frozen ones, they were like, well, Woolies obviously have a bit of a problem at the moment. But yeah, I couldn't find any. I was looking for cranberries.
That's annoying. One of my favorite cocktails on here is the watermelon. It is one of our, see, that's not popping up, so then it mustn't be watermelon.
I think you'd be better off in maybe putting cocktails into the tags instead of the.
That's a good idea.
I think you'd get more of the men, I think.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll do that. So this one here is watermelon and orange margarita. That is also one of our faves. Let's do what Eliza said and come up the top and just do hashtag cocktail. We've got watermelon selected, so that's gonna. Yeah, it shows the same results. So I think when you type it in, regardless, but let's see if, are you meaning within the filters, maybe? Let's have a look.
Oh yeah, I meant in the filters.
I don't think it matters whether it's in the filters or not, but let's have a look and see if it makes a difference. Should I go past it? Where's the tags? Okay. Let's have a look and see. No, it doesn't have a cocktail tag. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what's happening. But let's have a look at mocktails as well, because there are lots of recipes. I don't know why we've got cherry. There we've got 36 mocktail recipes. So there's a pina colada, passion fruit mojito, mojito mocktail. There's a few good ones on here. Apple, strawberry, and ginger mocktail. That sounds nice. You can also
all of those I feel like you could make cocktails too that obviously don't pop up in the cocktail test. So.
Yeah. Also, punch, like fruit punches and stuff like that. You can either make them cocktaily or not cocktaily. You can alcohol or not. But also just remember that you can have a look on Google and find any recipe and you can put that over to here. So I have, when we had our retreat recently, yum, that Oreo ice cream. Why did I save that? That's dangerous. We created our own recipe. So I have a collection in here that is just cocktails where I find it. So in my cookie doing my collections, I have a cocktails collection, but I also have some created recipes that when we had our retreat here, what is going on? I want my created recipes here. When we had our retreat here, the girls and I made some cocktails and then we uploaded them onto Cookie Do because they were just from places like Taste and that kind of thing. So you can definitely upload them onto Cookie Do as well, but you can also do like what we've done tonight and just chuck it all in and use the blend function or just mix it in yourself. It depends what you're kind of looking for. If you're doing something like a amaretto sour or something like that, then you can definitely do that with your egg whites and give that a whip at the end as well. So lots of options with your cocktails as well. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Looks great. Thanks, Emma. No worries, Elise. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have, and the girls have mentioned throughout the class, we have lots of exciting things at the moment. So when you buy your Thermomix, you get a second ball blade and lid set for free. Sorry, no, you don't. You get a $350 mix shop voucher for free with a cutter. Eliza spoke about the cutter and a blade cover and peeler. You can use your $350 mix shop voucher towards a second ball blade and lid set if you wish. It brings it down to $45. You could also put that voucher towards something like an Ovana pizza oven, which makes it about $230. We have our last days. So at the end of this month, we will be ceasing our $100 thank you bonus to our customers who refer someone to us. So if you have someone in mind who you think might like to purchase a Thermomix, when you refer them to your consultant, you will actually receive a $100 mix shop voucher once that sale is processed as a thank you from Thermomix for referring. If you would prefer to have a demonstration, then that is awesome. We love to give you guys our host rewards as well. And at the moment we have our festive host rewards. We also have some really exciting things for new consultants. No worries, Alice. For new consultants that are coming on board, once you qualify, it's only 3 sales in your first 60 days. You will be able to pick up our toolkit and a $150 Woolworths voucher on top of all of the other goodies that we are working towards. It's a really exciting time in Thermomix at the moment with just being taken over by Woolworths as well. There are lots of exciting things happening. We did mention earlier also about our 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you wonder whether or not the Thermomix is right for you, purchase it, give it a try for 30 days. We promise that you'll love it with the support of your consultant. And then if it's still not right, then you have that option to send it back. I can pretty much guarantee that that won't be happening if you are linked in with a consultant and you are being supported. That is probably the key to anything, is using your consultant, because that's what we are here for. If you have any suggestions of upcoming classes that you would like to see, then please let us know. This is our last one before Christmas. We will be looking at doing a back to school one later in January. But if you have any suggestions or anything that you would like to see, then please reach out to us and let us know, because we like to tailor things to you guys. That's it from us. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. We hope you all have a lovely Christmas and a very happy and safe New Year's. But thank you for your support. It doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you so much. Stay tuned for your email. I will send you through that probably tomorrow night. But thank you so much. Have a lovely Christmas and we will all chat to you soon.